Welcome to another exciting episode of your favorite personality profile show, The Odyssey with Ekow. Today I'm super excited about the show already because we are sitting with a very young, promising politician who is taking up spaces and making amazing strides in politics. For the second time, the good people of Assafuah constituency has given him the nod to represent them in Parliament on the ticket of the NPP. He was recently called to the bar and again appointed as a Deputy Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development. Honorable Vincent Ekow Assafuah Esquire is my guest for today. Welcome to the show, Honorable.
Thank you, Ekow.
I forgot to add that you're also a Catholic.
Yes.
An astute one for that matter.
I was born into it, yeah. We call it a practicing Catholic. Yeah.
What's this passion about the Catholic Church? You wanted to be a father at a point?
Well, let me say a very good evening to your cherished viewers. I was born into it, and my father, until about 2 years ago, was the laity director in Ashanti region.
Wow.
If you like Kumasi Archdiocese.
Okay.
When we say a laity director, we mean the members of the church. We have an association, or if you like, as far as you're a member of the church, as far as you're a Catholic, there is someone who is your president or your director.
Okay.
Same applies to the Catholic priests. Their leader is the archbishop.
Wow.
Or the bishop, if the diocese is not an archdiocese. So my father was the laity director for Kumasi Archdiocese until just about 2 years ago. Because of ill health, he had to resign. So we were born into it. My name Vincent is because I'm a Catholic.
Wow, interesting.
In the Catholic Church, if you are born, the practicing ones will look at the Catholic calendar.
Okay.
So the day that you were born, they will name you after the saint that was born on that day or died on that day. So the 27th of September, when I was born, my father checked the Catholic calendar and realized that that was the day that St. Vincent de Paul died. And so that is the feast day of St. Vincent de Paul.
Okay.
And that is how come I'm Vincent.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is how my father actually treated all of us. I'm actually the seventh born out of 8.
Okay.
All of us having Catholic names.
Wow.
All of us having Catholic names. In fact, my backbone, which is the last, is Anthony. In the Catholic Church, we have St. Anthony of Padua and St. Anthony of Ferrari. And my brother is St. Anthony of Padua. He was also named after the day that St. Anthony of Padua was actually born. So that is how my father treated all of us. So I'm a practicing Catholic.
Sure.
And it's something that I really cherish.
Very insightful. I understand why you are so passionate about it. Mentioning your backbone and the family and all that, walk us through how your growing up was like. Take us back to how the family setting was growing up.
Well, born and bred in Assafuah constituency.
Okay.
In 1990, as I said, on the 27th of September. In a small,
1990?
Yes, 1990. In a small clinic called Abotanso Clinic in Assafuah constituency. It is very close to today's Assemblies of God Church at 3 miles.
Okay.
And from that place to where we lived was just about 300 or 400 meters. So where we were born to, there is this story building that we call Infantifo Hinifie in the Assafuah constituency. So as soon as you get to Assafuah and we say Infantifo Fia or Infantifo Hine Fia, you know where you are going.
Okay.
That is very close to Kumasi, also very close to Assafuah Meadows. You have a big, what do you call it, Biabako Meadows. And so it's very close to that arena. And so that is where we were born to. All the 8 of us were born in the same house.
Then Infantifo
Hinifie.
I'm just imagining, I'm throwing my mind back because I know Tafu very well.
It's a compound house, very close to the Den Good Shepherd International School. Also very close to Mama Christie Kindergarten School, and also to today's Father Krishe RC Primary School. Just about 100 meters away. So just growing up My father was a headmaster at St. Benedict RC school in Shire, so that is Tafun Shire. So that's where I started the kindergarten.
Wow.
But in primary one, I went to Good Shepherd International School. That was very close to what. So in class 5, we moved from the Infante Hinifi to our own house, also at the other end of Old Tafo constituency, because the big road that leads to Mampong divides the two sides of Tafo. So we were at the other side of Tafo until we moved to the other side, which is the Boanyuni area. So when we went there, because of the crossing of the road, because we were young, my father had to now find another school for us at the other end of Old Tafo. So we finally ended in Old Tafo Methodist. That we could just walk to the school without necessarily coming to Good Shepherd International School. So that is where I had my primary 6. We went there for just a year. And he moved me to Martyrs of Uganda in Santase, where I had my junior high school for 3 good years. Now, around this time, I was baptized in the Catholic Church. And I was also confirmed in the Catholic Church. And I was a mass server at the age of 9 years.
Wow.
So by 9, 10, I was serving on the altar. Something I have been doing from that time till today.
You still serve today?
Yes, I still serve. It's a passion.
Sure.
It doesn't mean I'm not a sinner. It doesn't mean I'm holy. But the most important thing is that you give to God what is God.
Sure.
You give to Caesar what is Caesar. At every point in time, you have to know that there is a supernatural being who brought into you, yourself, your existence. So it is proper that you still acknowledge him and you still serve him. That is my kind of sacrifice that protects me, that leads me into whatever I do. So even until today, I still do it to the glory of God. So right after junior high school, I had the opportunity to go to Pokuari school.
Akateche.
But my father said, no, I cannot go to Pokuari school. Something that I have never been happy with. And I don't think I have even forgiven him. I don't think so. Because that was what I wanted. But of course, my other side also wanted me to be a Catholic priest. And he wanted me to be a Catholic priest.
Wow.
And so he had to take me to St. Hubert Seminary. You know, anybody who goes to Martyrs of Uganda, you realize that you have so many of your friends at Prempeh College, so many of your friends at Opokuari. But I was the only person from Martyrs of Uganda who went to St. Hubert Seminary. At the time, the whole first year, we were just about 28.
Wow. At St. Hubert?
At St. Hubert. In my class, we were just 28. So it should tell you that it was, it was a place that was, it is supposed to be a formation center. It is not your typical senior high school where you want to do whatever you can do. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I was able to complete it after the 3 years. After the seminary formation, I now realized that no, this is not what I really want to do. So I had to veer off from the seminary formation. I went to write NOVDEC. At the time, so it was very difficult for you to just complete seminary school without writing 1 or 2 courses or 1 or 2 subjects before you can enter the university, because you do only 3 electives at the seminary. It's not like your typical senior high school that you do 4 seminary.
So you run a different curriculum?
Not a different curriculum per se, but there are other things that is added to it that you do. And there are some courses that you don't do. So as I said, during my time or during our time in the seminary, you cannot do 4 courses or 4 electives. You do only 3. So when you are done, you now go and write NOVDEC. So I used 2 months to write government. I had never done government in the seminary, but because I wanted to go and read humanities at the university, I had to go and write government. So I registered for NOVDEC. My father actually paid for that, and I wrote NOVDEC. I had B2, just used 2 months to prepare, and that gave me the qualification for me to be in the university. So I went to KN University in 2009. In 2009, then I left KN University also in 2030. But when I got to KN University, somewhere during the first semester, I think about a month into my schooling, I was at Unity Hall.
Okay.
There was a floor that we called it Ahimfie, second floor. It's Ahimfie because that is where most of our traditional authorities and all those people were staying or were living. So they said that we needed to get a floor rep. I was there when one guy came to me. He was actually my senior at the seminary, about 2 or 3. He had also now come to first year.
Okay.
His name is Francis Macaulay. Then he came to call me and say, Masa, almost more pay. Floor rep unti. Yeah, the walk. And I said, what is that?
How?
He said, we want to make you floor rep so that you'll be in our room. Since you're in our room, when there's anything, you can help us first before you can go to. Okay. And I said, okay. If it's about your interest, let's have your interest then.
Okay.
So they pushed me for the floor rep. They had already organized most of the boys, and we voted, and I won that election. So I was the floor rep for Ahimfie Unity Hall. Then when I became a leader, then the boys started, why don't we push him? So they started pushing me into student politics.
Okay.
So somewhere second semester, then they started this SRC kind of thing. They said, there's SRC elections if you're interested in those kind of. So some guys came to our hall. Normally when they come to campaign, they have to see you the floor rep first before you can now lead them to the other rooms. So when they came, there was this guy called Yaodru Amwa. He eventually won the elections anyway.
Okay.
He
as
approached me
as
SRC president. He approached me and I said, okay, I would help you. By then we had other contenders, Adonu and all those people who came. But I supported the Yaodru Amwa. I had quite a number of them who also supported him. And eventually he won the elections and he appointed me as one of the editorial board members of SRC. So that's where my politics started. So even in first year, I had already earned a place at the SRC editorial board. So second year, when he came, then the guy said, okay, Charlie, we have to take you to college president or faculty president. Then I settled on running for SRC faculty president, that is Social. That time when you say Social, you say, yeah, there. Social, yeah, there. Okay. As for us there, you will be sleeping. You cannot compare us to the engineering students and all that. But of course, that is the niche that has been created for social students. So I ran for social faculty president and lost by some few votes. I lost by about 80 or 70 votes, but I was in second year at the time. Then I was not happy with it because I felt that I had campaigned so well for me to win, and nobody or few people had won that election or won faculty president in second year. So I had an opportunity to run for it again in third year.
Your third year.
But in third year, I don't know. Nana be there for you. And some few people told me, third year, Charlie, we are taking you to be SRC president. And he became the TESCOM president. So I thought I would have his support. Then later on, you are the same person who told me that I should contest for SRC president. Okay. And knowing that Nanabi, you are the TESCOM president, I thought you were going to support me. About a month to elections, then he called me to his room. The party hierarchy says that we should support one guy called Henry Ninfo. And so if you are a true party person, you have to leave the contest for this guy. And I said, I have spent. But of course, knowing the love for my party,
you have to step down. I
stepped down. In fact, all the MPP party people did not step down for the party's chosen candidate. I was the only person who did
sacrificed.
And that has been the telepathy or my closeness to Nanabi since that time till today. If I'm close to Nanabi, it is because we go way back.
Yeah.
Then when I stepped down, the next 2 days I was there and he told me that I should go for college. I said, but I went for faculty president. Why don't you let me go for the faculty president? Let me repeat that.
Yes.
And he said, no, I should go for college president, which is CAS, College of Arts and Social Sciences. Because the faculty is a subset of the college. So the college was bigger than the faculty.
Yeah.
So I heeded to his advice, went for that election, and lost by 40 votes.
Another one.
So it means that in my whole years at KNUST, I could not win an election. Because of indecisiveness and because of the party's lack of making sure that at least there is that understanding among all of us.
Yeah.
So when we got to final year, when we were just about getting to final year, that period where you go and live or you go and stay home for about 3 months, there's this association called University Student Association of Ghana, USAC.
Okay.
It is almost like NUCS. You know, NUCS includes even diploma institutions.
Yes.
TAG, that is teacher training association, or if you like, training colleges and nursing and all those kind of things. NUCS is broad, but USAC is just for universities.
Okay.
USAC is just for universities. You know, NUCS, even the senior high schools are part of NUCS.
Okay.
Because it's National Union of Ghana Students.
Okay.
So regional SRCs in the various senior high schools are even part of NUCS. But USAC was just for the University Student Association of Ghana. So the boys came to convince me, Vincent, the way you are part there, you have to make sure that you get a position before you leave university. The boys came to convince me. I said, okay, I'll give it the final shot.
Okay.
So I went around the whole country, campaigned in all the universities.
Which year was that?
This is 2012.
Okay.
2012. And
you were still in school?
I was still in school because you have to have 1 year in school before you can be USAC president.
Okay.
Because you have to be a university student before you can be University Student Association of Ghana president.
Sure.
So when I contested for that position, I went around the whole country. We had our congress in Central University in 2012. I think that was the first time I had been to Accra. I had never been to Accra. So we went to Pram Pram.
Okay.
To have the congress over there. So 2 days before election, I had campaigned so well to the extent that there was no way I was going to lose the election. Then this guy called Awal, who is at YE, he is the current PRO to YE, Youth Employment Agent, Mohammed Awal. He was an NDC then. And he was the SRC president for Winneba. So Awal was told that if he doesn't come to campus, that is Central University, Ekow Vincent is winning the election. So, but you see, the way the university structure is, the university structure is such a way that the SRC president decides the delegates.
Yes.
So, if there are 30 delegates from University of Ghana, it is the SRC president who will decide who will be the president. So Awal came that Sunday morning, the very day that we were going to have the elections. Then changed the delegates because I had already won their hearts.
Okay.
And he had seen that they were even campaigning for me.
Interesting.
When he changed it, we went to the voting center. We voted, and I lost by 4 votes.
Wow.
Just 4 votes. Just 4 votes. That is how come I never held any position at the university level.
But look at you now.
But of course, right after that, in fact, I was very depressed. The day that I called my mom that I had lost the election, that was that Sunday evening.
Okay.
My mom was crying on the phone because she knew how I have struggled from second year just to be a leader on campus. My dad was at the other side. I could hear my dad talking Osiden. Osiden. You know, my dad and my mom up to now can't speak Tree.
Okay.
Then he gave the phone to my dad whilst my mom was crying. My father asked, Vincent, what was it then? And I said, oh, I lost again. When I said I lost again, I was crying. But of course, knowing him being a man, he said, it's okay. You just prepare and come back home. I went through hell. We driving from Central University back to Kumasi.
Can imagine.
It was very difficult for me. I didn't know how I was going to even be on campus for another 1 year, losing such an election and all that. You know, like a convinced and you are a serial loser, those kind of things. It was difficult for me in my final year on KNUST campus. In fact, in KNUST, if you were looking for someone who would be a member of parliament at the age of 28, 29, become a deputy minister at the age of 33, they will not mention a province.
Definitely.
But they knew I had lost so much election. In fact, the edge was not there. But I had one best friend who is an NDC guy. In fact, he's currently my best friend. He's an NDC guy. And when I was having my national service, I was posted to National Youth Authority. Okay. Then he told me that there's this association called NASPA. That is National Service Personnel Association.
Okay.
So all the national service persons, they also elect leaders. So this one day, I should go and take it. I should go and win it.
Be an alpha.
Be an alpha. And I'm saying, I can't matter.
Okay.
He is also a fancy. I'm saying, okay, I can't matter. There's no problem with that. But I was not sure because now I was afraid. I had
Fear
no
of
confidence
failure.
I had no confidence in me anymore. So I came to live with my uncle as a commoner.
Okay.
So when there was this other guy who was very close to us from KNYC and was also living very close to us at Sakumono. He's called Nita Tashon. He's currently in UK.
Okay.
So they came together and said, no, we have to make sure this one works. So these guys came together, they wrote my manifesto, they groomed me, they told me what to tell people. We went around the whole of Accra Metro here because you have to start at the district. So Accra Metro here, we went to all the workplaces to campaign. There were times that when I go to some of these offices, my spirit was brought down because so the KNYC students were like, now then I still now say people still. You know? That kind of feeling, I had it about 3 or 4 times, which can bring my spirit down for about 4 days. I will not go and campaign. But I needed to prove people wrong. So I still went in for that election. And that was my first election that I won.
Wow.
In fact,
Finally.
when I won that election, I was happy. My parents were so happy.
Can you imagine?
As for my mom, even though she was happy, but she would tell you, no, this is not where you belong. Come back to the seminary. My mom, until just about 3 years ago,
stopped.
God being my witness, was still confident that I could still come back to the seminary.
Really?
Yes. If you ask my siblings, they will tell you. Until just about 3 years ago, she was still confident that I could still come back to the seminary. But of course, after that election, at the regional level, all the districts come together to elect regional executives.
Okay.
So those at Ada, those at Accra Metro, and all those places, we came together. And the guy said I should go for regional president. Hey, if I go and lose again, me I have broken the gene. So let me just go my way.
I know.
But this, my friend, was still insisting that I should go, even though I had the edge to be a regional president. I had the zeal in me that, okay, why don't I give it a shot? And they encouraged me. There were some KNYC boys, hey, mon can't you convince them to? I remember, but the boys were like,
such an inspiring story.
We had to go in for that election. And I won that elections as well. So I became the regional president in Greater Accra for all national service persons.
Inspiring.
Then they said there's also another one, which is the national, which one all the regions will come together and also elect national. And the boy said I should go again. I said, okay. I am there. And all these things happened within about 2.5 months. All this election happened within 2.5 months. So when I decided to go for the national, I had one regional director called Nana Diasempa. I wish that you would go and bring me that plug over there. Nana Diasempa. He is the, I think it was the Kunti Hinefo. This town after Mampong. Edra.
Okay.
That's him. The Kunti Hinefo. Edra. I love him so much to the sense that, you see, I have this an old picture.
Yes,
I still have it
that.
Here. It's the only old picture that I have still kept from that time till today. So you could see that I was in
the national service,
service attire. Here I was a national president then. I went for one of his programs. He invited me. You could see how I hugged him so hard. This man, I went to his office, looked at my face and told me, no, I have to help this boy.
You looked the path.
The man sponsored my campaign.
Wow.
Did everything, gave me a car to travel across the country to go and campaign.
For the NASPA national
For the NASPA national president. If I am here today, he played a big role. That is Nana Diasempa. He was the regional director for national service. And he called his other regional directors and told them that this time I have a candidate. Tell your people that Ekow Vincent is the one that we have to support to be the national president. So whilst he sponsored the campaign, he also campaigned
for you.
for me.
Wow.
And I became one of the people who had the highest of votes when I ran
At
for
the
national
time.
president, for national service president. So we had that congress in Tamale, and I won. When I was coming, I spoke to my mom for like 2 hours.
I can
She
imagine her
was
joy.
so happy. My
Yes.
dad was so happy. The family, everybody was happy that at least I had won 3 elections to nullify the 3 that I lost.
Wow. Such an inspiring story. This is the journey of Honorable Ekow Assafuah.